Town board. Town board meeting will be in session. We have a public hearing to start off. It's a public hearing on the proposed increase and improvement of facilities of the Seneca Falls sanitary sewer system, Kingdom Road 5. Is there anybody that wants to speak at the public hearing today? Okay, at this time I have a motion to close the public hearing.
You'll make a motion. I'll second.
Any discussion? Public hearing will be closed. Will the clerk please take roll call? Meeting called to order. The clerk will take roll call.
Supervisor Schmitter.
Present.
Councilman Frank Seneca.
Here.
Councilman Pilara.
Here.
Councilwoman Dyson. Here. Councilwoman Laskowski.
Here.
Okay, please rise for the pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please have a seat. I'm just going to read a little thing here. Please bear in mind that this is a business meeting and maintaining professionalism and proper decorum is imperative. This legislative body must conduct a public business effectively and productively. To that end, if you'd like to address the board and have not signed up as a petitioner, privilege floor is open for that purpose. Once the agenda item is concluded, no comments, etc. will be received from the floor. Attendees are observers at that point and should not interrupt the proceedings. So at this time, we have a petitioner, Karen Altmary.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Karen.
My name is Karen Altmary, and I'm the founder of the Seneca Falls League flag football cheerleading program for grades 1st through 6th. I want to start by saying thank you to Missy Jones, Justin, and Malik from the Seneca Falls Rec Center, the Mount Figlia Foundation, the Seneca Falls Police, no, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Thank you, Association, the Seneca Falls Police Department, who got on the field, and the Seneca Falls Town Board for being there when I had questions. We also had our sponsors. We had Doug and Megan from the Dorrance Funeral Home, Ed and Giovanna from Thurston's. So my son has his bachelor's degree in graphic design and master's in sports management. I'm proud to say that he's using his degree with our program. He's donated all his time to design and create all the logos, ads for the programs that were given at no cost to the parents and to the kids, along with the items. And I presented the programs for you all to look at, and there'll be some outside. So again, I'm proud to say everything you see in our end of the season program was done by my son, so it was at no cost to the league. Eric and Bobby Plate, their business B/E Design, were providing the jerseys for the players and the cheerleaders and the polos for the coaches and referees, again at a discounted price. Summer camp with the Seneca Falls Rec Center began August 10th with 20 plus kids, and we ended with, we started our first season with over 80 plus kids. For the first season, the league had two teams, grades 1st through 3rd, 25 players, 4 teams, grade 4 through 6, and 29 players. And then we had 2 squads for our cheerleaders, 5 to 7-year-olds and 8 to 15-year-olds, total 89 kids. Obviously, we had some issues in the first season, but they were addressed, and we are resolving them for the beginning of our second season. So basically, I just wanted to say hi to everybody, let everybody know the program was successful. It is here to for the community and for the kids. We did hold the registration. As of right now, I have 24 players, 17 cheerleaders, and I have 3 to 5 coaches for cheerleading and 4 for the player coaches. And then we have a camp that we're going to offer in April at no cost. So we're also putting our sponsor tier program together because I'd like to utilize the business as much as I can, but I also want to be able to give back as much as we can. We're going to be selling the $10 raffle tickets, which will help with the expenses. And I did go to everybody at the beginning of the season, or beginning of the year. We had support from the Seneca Falls Police, the National Association, the Rec Center, the Town Board, I think, and our athletic directors. So our goal is to give the program that teaches our kids to respect each other and themselves, to work as a team, and to just have fun. And to give the program to the kids, the families in our community to grow, and again, just to have fun. Again, I want to thank everybody here, along with our community, for being part of our first season, and we are looking forward to our second season.
Thank you, Karen. We appreciate the effort you put into running it. It's a great program, and thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Joan Lynch. Was Joan here?
Is your microphone on? We can't hear most of what you say.
Joan Lynch for.
There's better.
Is she here? Okay, we'll skip and go to Jean Gilroy, please.
Hi. Is this on?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak again. I will reiterate my speech of the March Town Board meeting at the Community Center for the video audience who may or may not have been able to hear or see that video. And my letter to the editor today in the Finger Lakes Times. It's the old say things 3 times and maybe people will catch on. First, I want to tell you that we're not paid protesters here tonight. We're not actors pretending to take offense at some slight big business. We are mothers and fathers and grandparents and students and business owners and farmers and vintners who all live in Seneca County and surrounding counties. We are adversely affected by the landfill. We have been damaged by the air and water pollution. Our community has been damaged by local government chasing the big bucks and not serious about our own zoning law. We are met by a Texas-based for-profit landfill who by the way, takes the profits back to Texas for its shareholders to the detriment of our community. Silence is complicity, said Martin Luther King. I urge you to visit the Seneca Meadows landfill website and watch their propaganda piece, or read their mailer introducing the Valley Infill. There's quite a few things they're not telling you. Number 1, the landfill expansion plans to deposit 33 million tons of waste on a 57-acre site, of which 26 acres is the old Tantello toxic waste Superfund site. It is estimated to be 1 million tons of waste with no bottom liner, deemed to be hazardous enough to be declared a Superfund site. And for those younger than me, that was a federal program which was initiated after the Love Canal fiasco, which you probably don't remember either. But maybe you remember Aaron Brockovich and the Hinckley, California, Pacific Gas and Electric, water contamination with chromium-6. Or more up to date, we have the Hoosick Falls PFAS aquifer contamination. Since 2015, our neighbors have been drinking bottled waters, not to mention their cancer rates. But SMI says this will all be good because they will install a double liner on top of the dump containing rusty drums of chemicals from Sylvania Products, Pool Pumps, Evans Cosmetics, and the Seneca Army Depot. Number 2, not only will they fill to the surrounding landfill, but then they need to overfill for proper sloping. So they'll go 70 feet higher, which is take 2 Gould hotels, one on top of the other. That's how much higher this landfill is going to be, for a total of 370 feet. Now the Statue of Liberty is only 340 feet base to torch. Or if you wish, that's 2 Gould hotels stacked on each other. However, Seneca Meadows will tell you that there will be some disturbance of the toxic waste and some dynamite blasting of the bedrock. But as I said, what can go wrong? And if this all goes south someday, it will go south right into the Seneca Canal, just a half a mile away. Now, this is my protest sign. Just imagine, it's easy if you try. We imagine. It's not easy, but we keep trying.
Joan Lynch here. Okay, at this time I'll open up privilege of the floor. Anyone for privilege of the floor? Andrew, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Dr. Andrew Olden. I'm the Executive Director of the Seneca Falls Museum and Tours. Sorry, here we go. Seneca Falls Museum and Tourism Center. Perfect. Sorry about that, height adjustment. So my name is Dr. Andrew Olden. I'm the Executive Director of the Seneca Falls Museum and Tourism Center. I'm just here to kind of present you a little bit of information today. This is a follow-up from my presentation last year on music in the park. So working with the Bonifiglia Family Foundation, we really tried to expand music in the park last year. Again, this was a free concert series down in People's Park. This year, I just wanted to present everybody with a little bit of information. We're going to switch things up a little bit. If you haven't seen, People's Park's under a bit of renovation. So we're going to hold the concert series, hopefully at the community center. I'm presenting all this information to you today to hopefully bring a vote next month to allow that to occur in the parking lot at the community center. We're working with Missy Jones to make that happening. But just a little bit of information, we've really expanded this program. In 2023, we had 679 visitors. This is, again, a free concert series, free kids programming, just right here in downtown Seneca Falls along the canal. Last year, we had 2,290 people, so almost a fourfold increase. Again, this is a free concert series. If you run a nonprofit, you work at the community organization, this is an opportunity to come set up, show the community what you're doing. Again, get free all sorts of toys, all sorts of things going out here just for people to enjoy our community. Again, this will occur every Thursday from approximately June 5th through August 20th this year from 4 to 6 p.m. We hope to have, again, summer Thursdays. So our local business owners having opportunities to come check out their stores, restaurants, that sort of thing before the sorry, I keep calling it party in the parking lot on accident from Missy's view there. But with that being said, having specials from 4 to 6 to, again, make a full day experience out of coming to Seneca Falls. Not only those who live in town here, but for people in our surrounding communities. We all know this is such a wonderful place to be and live. With that being said, concerts from 6 to 8 p.m., again, free right in the park. And then from 8 to 10, we hope again that our community businesses offer specials to, again, keep people downtown, whether that's drinks, food, desserts, whatever it might be, again, to keep people going. Last year, and we tried to do as many food runner services as we could, again, frequenting our local restaurants so that way our brick and mortar institutions keep the money in town here, can continue to have business as opposed to just let the money go wherever with food trucks. Again, we have wonderful places to eat here, so we're going to bring that back. As I already said, we're going to hopefully be in the parking lot. But something new in 2025 is we're going to partner with Stivers Marina in Geneva to offer a boat ride beforehand. So you can go and ride the boat to music in the park, do whatever you might on that boat. Doesn't matter to me. Again, there's no drinks, a lot of music in the park, but you can have fun on that boat beforehand, whether it's boozy bingo, just taking a ride to here. Get off, go to the concert, or you can walk home or ride back to the marina. Regardless, this will be a great opportunity for folks to be able to come out and just really enjoy the canal, enjoy the history, because if you don't remember, it's the 200th anniversary of the Erie Canal in which the Cayuga Seneca is an offshoot of. So again, my name's Andrew Olden. I just wanted to present this information for you all, and I hope to see you all at Music in the Park this year. Thank you.
Who's going to want to come when it stinks? Right.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Jackson had mentioned to me, your allocation is in 2 different places in the budget. It's all there. I know you called Jackson. we're worried about it. It's,
Yeah, we got it.
you got it?
He's got it.
Oh, okay, okay, all right, good.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else for privilege of the floor?
Good evening, Supervisor Schmitter and members of the Seneca Falls Town Board. My name is Mark C. Pittifer. I'm speaking here tonight on behalf of Bill Lutz and the Waterloo Container Company. Last week, I spent Monday through Thursday in Lancaster, Pennsylvania for a work-related expo. Upon returning Friday morning, first thing, 8:05, our building and employees were engulfed with bad odor from the Seneca Meadows landfill. After receiving almost half a dozen complaints from our employees, I called the hotline, I called the zoning officer, I alerted the district manager who showed up himself, and I alerted several town board members as well. It was a very, very bad odor day, and employees felt ill. It was later explained to me that this was due to the slow-moving winds. In light of this recent odor on Friday, we are very confused by the recent decision this board made to approve the 2025 Seneca Meadows landfill local operating permit, especially given this board's previous unanimous stance against it. Last year, the 5 of you made it clear that you would not approve a permit until, quote, odor issues were resolved. It was tabled for over a calendar year due to ongoing odor issues. That's how you voted. We, the residents, have been vocal in our concerns, reporting ongoing nuisance complaints and town code violations relating to the landfill's interference with our daily lives. Yet despite these unresolved issues and mounting opposition, 3 of you changed your position. On the same night, a new financial agreement with the landfill was brought up and voted on. This sudden shift, regardless of intent, raises questions about timing and motivation behind these decisions. Furthermore, it has not gone unnoticed that the same very 3 members who reversed their decision are still listed on the website of Responsible Solutions for New York, a PAC funded by Waste Connections, the parent company of Seneca Meadows, which invested over $300,000 since 2019 to support each of the candidacies. You may not have worked with them, you may not have received anything from them, you may not even have known they were campaigning for you, but your campaigns benefited from them, and that alone raises questions. The optics of this connection, along with the lack of resolution of the odor issues, leaves the community feeling as though our voices have been disregarded. Our concerns have been ignored. You've gone against the wishes of the public, you've contradicted your own logic, and you've failed to address the very issue that has plagued this town for decades. When asked to discuss why you voted this way, only one of you chose to explain. So we, the public, ask for an explanation, as this decision does not reflect the will of the people or the values we believe this board stood for. In closing, I'd like to thank Supervisor Frank Schmitter and Councilmember Jackson Polera for voting no on the permit, since there are still ongoing and unresolved odor issues. That vote seems justified, and we applaud your clarity and logic.
Anyone else for privilege of the floor? Yes.
My name is Jennifer Wick. I live at 3133 Patton Avenue, and I have, I guess, some concerns about the new Department of Public Works and how much money the town is spending for this new department. We were told that we wouldn't be expending money. There are 4 resolutions under new business, M, N, O, and T, which amount to over $400,000 in expenditures, which is on top of what we've already spent. We already have a department, a highway superintendent who had a fully staffed department, and his department, people were taken away, from his department transferred to the Department of Public Works so that Jeremy's department cannot do his job. And we now have this new department that we're funneling all this money into. I don't think it's a, and I think other people would agree with me that that's not a wise spending of our money. I would like the town board members to think about these resolutions and how much money we're spending. This is my money. This is all of our money. Please spend it wisely. Thank you.
Anyone else for privilege of the floor?
My name's Brad Jones, live at 11 Courtney Drive here in Seneca Falls. Haven't had a chance to speak to this board from the podium. I've done it in past administrations. Have a couple items, actually questions. I don't want anybody to take what I have to say as a personal. I think the privilege of floor, I've watched it over the last couple of months, either here or on YouTube. Pardon? Okay. Watched privilege of the floor over the last couple of months, maybe 6 months, and whether it's on YouTube or here witnessing, I want to thank the board for allowing this to happen. This privilege of the floor is, in a sense, this podium is our podium. It allows us to share our concerns with the board, opportunities with the board, actually questions for the board. And I have a couple questions this evening, and I don't want anybody to take it personal. And I'm going to start with my friend, Mr. Schmitter, our supervisor. Frank and I go way back. And we've had some good dialogue over the first year he's been in office, but I have two questions, and the reason I'm going to ask you, and I'm not looking for a debate. Hopefully in public session you can give the community the answers that I'm looking for, because some of your elected officials have brought it to my attention, also department heads. I noticed, and probably most of you noticed again tonight, the town manager that we solely needed this time last year, nowhere to be found. The department head, water and sewer, nowhere to be found. All the other department heads are here. My question to Supervisor Schmitter, did you personally tell both the town manager and the department head of water and sewer, two of the higher paid employees that make up this town government, not to attend? I'm not looking for, I know, this is my...
I'll give you an answer, Brad.
No, I'd like to have the answer in public session.
We're in public
Okay.
right here, right now. Okay? I do
This
not
is
require-
privilege of the floor. Do I have to explain
Oh,
the
that's fine.
history? Okay, thank you. One other question. Has to do with the town clerk, which I want to say, Melissa, you're very professional in more ways than one. She answers emails properly. She brings up certain concerns. One, Robert Rules of Order, which I don't know, probably many of you are on committees. It's the way of life. This board back in March elected not to make a motion nor a second. Thank you, Melissa, for bringing it up. That question goes to you, Frank, again. I've been told by some of your peers on the board, as well as department heads, that there's no need for Melissa to talk at the town board meeting, nor ask questions. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Melissa is an elected official. Very professional, I might add. Did you, in so many words, tell her not to talk, nor ask questions, but just take notes? And I'd like to have that question answered in public session too, since this is privilege of the floor. I don't want you to take it personal, but this is what the community's talking about. Town managers, city manager in Geneva. I had a village administrator. They're the most important people that run the day-to-day show. We're paying big dollars. We have no need to come. That's a concern I have, but also some of your peers. Second issue I'd like to bring up, once again, not personal, goes back to Mary Grace a month ago. She asked a question on residency, which I think is on everybody's mind. I'm going to touch on it. It's not personal. Matter of fact, when I was mayor from 1996 to 2000, it happened on my watch. And it had something to do with residency. Second Ward trustee, you may remember some of the older people here. Back then, you had your trustees representing First Ward, Second Ward, Third Ward, Fourth Ward. I'm going to say 97 or 98, the trustee came to me and said, I've actually moved out of Ward number 2. I'm going to do the right thing and step down. I can't represent the people. He did the honorable thing. He didn't try to play the game to stay in office. We have a similar situation as we speak tonight. Matter of fact, it goes back to February, March of this time last year. We have one council member here who no longer lives in the town, no longer owns property in the town, no longer pays taxes in the town. And she's voting on important issues, whether it's the landfill, whether it's the DPW, or whatever. My concern is not how to get around this, but doing the honorable thing. I guess I'm just going to ask the people in the audience, do you really want someone that doesn't live in your town, nor pay taxes, or own property, representing you?
No.
Yes.
Okay, we got one. All right, that's my point. Once again, it's not personal, but I'm looking to this board, I'm looking to the community. We're trying to grow, and how do you grow when it's on everybody's mind? Mary Grace asked the question. I just felt that there was no answer. I guess I'm asking fellow board members where you stand, and you can share with the audience as you wish during public session. Thank you very much.
Anyone else for privilege of the floor? Okay, at this time, privilege of the floor is closed. I have a motion to accept the business meetings from February 4th, February 12th, and March 4th. Approval of the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. I have communications A through J. I have a motion to accept the communications.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. And special events. We have the Seneca Museum of Waterways and Industry for Music in the Park, 6 to 8. You have a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Discussion?
I'm sure that this has been discussed, is there, because the numbers have doubled over time, is there going to be enough room in that area?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
They can also sit in the lawn, or in the back of the ride. So they don't put the parking on the back.
They will be parking in the back?
They'll have to park in the back.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is
And
part
but
of
everything
parking.
will be in the front parking lot. Okay. Okay.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. We have a special event, a Seneca Falls Classic Car Motorcycle Show scheduled for 7/27.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
That one is subject to proof of insurance and DOT permit. They need approval of the board first before they can apply for DOT permit.
Okay.
So he understands that he has to produce both of them before the event can go forward. As soon as they receive them all, you know, the board can.
So just approval pending those. Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
I need a second. You motion. She second. Thank you. Thank you, sorry. That's okay.
Another special event we have, the Seneca Falls Rec is doing an Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 12th. Go to the website to see more, but we got kids grade kindergarten through first, it's at 10:15 a.m. Grade 2 to 3 is 10:30 a.m. Grade 4 through 5, 10:45 a.m. And it's going to be located, where do we located? Inside the rec center? Inside the rec center. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I would be those in my,
Oh, okay.
I don't cover my supervisor reports in, I think I got it.
I know flyers if people,
Okay,
so they can sign up, because this one they have before.
okay, yeah. So, in my supervisor report, I got some information for everyone out there. The Seneca housing strategy is starting to improve housing. Unfortunately, the meeting's today at the rec center at the same time this is going on. There's also going to be one in the south end of the county on Wednesday, April 2nd, which is tomorrow, from 5:37 at the South Seneca High School gym. But there is a website you can go to. It's www.schousingstrategy.org, for Seneca County Housing Strategy.org. Go in there, they're looking for people to give ideas and suggestions, and they're putting together a system to help housing in the area. The Seneca Falls Swap Cycle, it's still not too late to do that. It's April 11th, 13th. You should have got this mailed with your water bill. If you didn't, you can go online, and our website will tell you about it, but it's a great way to, and there's some in the front hall. They're good for, we complain about the landfill, but this is how we can keep stuff out of the landfill, and help people that need stuff. So if you follow the program, it works out really good. Next, we have Earth Day Community Cleanup. It's Saturday, April 26th, 9:30 to 11:30. At Miners Academy is the location they're going to meet. There's flyers out in the hall.
No, they're not, I have them up here.
If anybody wants to
but
get one
I
there.
can put them back there.
So,
There is another one that's also happening that day. It's from Seneca Falls Rotary. I just found out about it yesterday. And they are doing like downtown, and the Seneca Green does other areas of the town. So if anybody's interested in participating, you just show up at the high school and they'll tell you where to go and give you gloves and bags.
yeah, that's included in it. All right, I got a retirement here. Fred Peterman, he's worked for 30 years with the Seneca Falls Water and Sewer. Effective March 31st, he's retiring, and we wish him the best of luck. And he chose not to want to come here and get anything, but we did appreciate his service from the town, and we're thankful for the job he did. And you're aware People's Park is being tore apart down there for part of the DRI project. I want to thank the water department for we had some issues there with some valves, and they put a new hydrant in, getting it all set up so they can connect water now to the new boat sites they want to put down there, so thankful for that. Also, we had questions. We did get a report from the health department on our water, and this is what they said. During the course of the survey, we found the system to be in compliance with current regulations. Further, the enclosed water sample results indicate that the water was of satisfactory quality on the day of the inspection. So they're doing a good job with their water. We should be thankful for that. A few other projects going on. So on the DRI, the 3 big projects. The rec's been completed. The waterfront should be completed by October of this year. The museum bids was accepted, and they should start working on it soon, and they have 180 days to complete. So that'll be end of the DRI, hopefully by the end of this year. The Johnson Street culvert, they expect to start work on that next week. and they have about a month, and that should be completed. Miller Street, been driving around, you see that's all been tore up by Avocoles and Walnut Street. They're working on that, that should be done within a couple weeks. So there's a lot being tore up in town, so we ask you for your patience and stuff while it goes on, but it's all good stuff to help the town out. The Kingdom Road Pump Station, that has been engineered, and we're working on getting the bids out, but we're trying to work on a bond resolution for financing purposes. The Bear Street Culvert, that's being engineered at this time, and the wastewater flow tank should be completed in April. So that's all I have for what's going on in town, which is quite a bit. And it's going to be a crazy summer here with projects. Okay.
There's a Earth Day event Tuesday, April 22nd from 9 to 11. It's at the community garden, which is over on South Street, right here at the corner, over there by the corner. Thank you. And they're doing a composting workshop, tool sharpening workshop, and then preparing your garden for spring. But you do have to sign up, so you need your little QR code or the internet. So.
All right, so we're going to go on to new business. I'm going to ask the board, I've had a few people ask me to do more explanation of the resolutions before we make motions and stuff, so I'll try to do a little bit more, then I'll ask for motions instead of just, I appreciate you just making them, but we're trying to do it that way so people can get more information on the projects we're doing here. So I have a resolution order for public hearing authorizing, after the public hearing, authorizing increase in improvement of facilities under town law. So we're working on the project for the pump station, King Road pump station that go down Bear Street. It's looking at $5,500,000 project that we trying to get bonds for. So can I have a motion for that resolution?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Okay, I have the resolution here for the Kingdom Road station, pump station. Now that the public hearing's been held, can I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I got a resolution declaring the intent of the town, of Seneca Falls Town Board to act as lead agency for a proposed town of Seneca Falls water system improvement projects. So we'll be the lead agency in the C-Corp. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a resolution here for support for the community gardens to apply for the New York Great Lakes Basin Small Grant Program. This is an opportunity to be awarded up to $40,000 for the grant for the garden.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a resolution to support the Waste Management Advisory Committee effort to apply for the 2025-26 Community Grant Program. We did one last year. We're just applying for more. Jeremy has allowed the small-scale compost facility at the Highway Department, and they're looking to, if they get the grant, to purchase a small-scale, it's like a vertical drum composting system. So,
Make a motion.
Second.
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Purchase required equipment to allow department to access the cloud system for data storage and protection. So we've gone to the cloud system, the rec center, the water department, the highway department, the sewer department. We have to purchase $559 for each one to be there, and then $66 a month for them to be access the cloud. I'm sure all the departments need them. Missy, do you feel like your department needs that?
I feel like I think the reason we were trying to do that is so we're all connected and we wouldn't lose information of anything. We're not really cloud-based now, so everything's
So
on
they-
thumb drive or backup external.
If they lose something on their computers, it's gone forever for cloud, they can be retrieved. Because they don't have even a IT closet that has like a backup system.
Have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second. Discussion? All in favor? The resolution to purchase of contract hours with integrated system, so we're looking to purchase 200 hours of service for a cost of $17,000. Have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion?
Was this the email that you had sent about going by hourly, or?
Yeah.
We purchased 200, it was $85 an hour. If we purchased less, it was like 125 or 150, depends
I
on.
think it was like 180.
Yeah.
It goes up very fast.
less than-
165 is like the highest.
Yeah, so.
How has been the services with integrated thus far as IT and whatnot?
I think it's been pretty good. I mean, the guy that shows up here does whatever you ask him. I've had no trouble with it myself, so.
Jeremy, have you gotten your computer fixed?
Yes, he came in and he did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, this next resolution is the cemetery fund transfer of monies. I don't believe we should do this at this point.
This should come up at
It's
discussion.
improper. Well, I have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
So,
Second.
Second. Okay, for discussion, this isn't proper procedure. What I think needs to happen here is they need to get bids to do the bridge they want to build, the footbridge, and then present it to the town, and then we either approve it or not. But to take money from that it was given to the town in 2021, then I don't think that's the proper way to handle that. So
Just so I understand what they're wanting.
want to do a footbridge, but, so in 2021, a black walnut tree was cut down and the money was given to the town. Now they want that money back to buy a footbridge, but the proper procedure would be for them just to do a resolution with estimates for, the project, and then we would decide to do it, but that money's not in the budget anywhere anymore for 2021.
In the cemetery, there's a footbridge that goes across the gully. I don't think it has any boards on it anymore.
No.
It needs to be checked to see, number one, if it's structurally sound, even to put boards on it. Number two, there needs to be an estimate. I really can't see they're gonna build a bridge for $5,870. And the town owns the cemetery.
Why can't we do it?
Well, we need to get estimates, before.
I understand that process, but I mean, it's just, Jeremy, have you been down there at all?
I have not been brought down, I know where the bridge is, it has not been brought to my attention. I could take a look at it, I would love to take a look at it.
Yeah, I would prefer to table this until there's not only the estimates, but also highway.
Well, if Peter and Jeremy get together and take a look at it.
This
DPW?
doesn't need to be
They're
tabled,
doing
this is
storm
like
drains.
turned down.
But he is an
Well,
engineer, he
proper
could look at it.
procedure.
Well, at this point,
I'm not going
might as
down
well,
that process.
table it. If this is a project the board is interested in doing, then you should approach it like any other project, and either it's gonna meet the threshold for public bid, or it's not, in which case it would be subject to procurement policy with obtaining quotes and whatnot. But as far as what happened 4 years ago with the tree, I don't know. I don't know what that is really about. But at this point, if it's a project that the board is interested in doing, just approach it like any other project and either do it or don't. That's your discretion.
Okay.
So, but if you want to, if you want to table it and keep the marker on the board's agenda so it doesn't get lost, that's fine.
Well, I mean, I think we should stick to the process that is outlined within the procurement to, if it's a matter of getting the estimates and the bids associated for this project, I think that we should proceed accordingly.
So as far as this resolution this evening, it may be best just to table it and keep it active, maybe put this with a particular committee of the board, so there could be some board members with some involvement in the process, something like that.
Okay, so you made a motion to table it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we
So-
table it.
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor of tabling it?
Aye.
So carried. Resolution for payment of power flow tech bill for 2024. So decorative light poles were ordered, and for some reason the bill didn't get paid in 24, and money was not allocated in 25,000 for 2025 budget. So now we're looking to authorize the payment of it. We still do all it. Got a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Discussion?
So, just so I understand, it's the $7,000 that didn't get paid
Yeah.
of the 47?
Correct,
The
yeah.
7,000.
Yeah.
Okay,
We didn't have buy enough.
all right, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next here we have the construction of guardrail replacement project. We have two options. Option one is for $70,000, and option two is for $35,000. The one for $35,000 would mean we'd have to put up signs saying narrow road ahead. There's a average, we got a counter from the county and put it on the road on one end, and there was an average of 32 vehicles a day that went over that, on that road.
When did you put a counter on it? Because the road's been closed.
Put it on the other half, where people that live on it would have to go off the road.
So what about the daily traffic that travels to get to the
Okay.
job?
That is a
Not
common
travel,
road
not
for
closed.
cut
There-
through.
There could be more traffic,
There would be more traffic.
but according to the state, if any road less than 200 vehicles a day, you could do this on. So, I mean,
So you can't get accurate count, so how are you gonna figure that? And then you got farm equipment that's gotta go down that road that's.
it would still be 16 feet wide. Well, that's why the board has to vote here. And I guess the money, it'd have to be a CHIPS program, because there's not money in the budget for it. So,
Doesn't, Jeremy oversees the chips, doesn't he?
I don't know if CHIPS will cover that as it being a bridge. When I last spoke with the lady that I deal with all the time, she said to look into a bridge fund first, or a bridge grant first.
Sure.
Because that might fall into the year of the pipes being put in the ground, it might need to be replaced.
Jeremy, well, first of all, there was a motion, correct? We were up at
No.
discussion.
No.
We need a motion before we go into discussions.
I make a motion,
Well,
we do the bridge repair.
Well, no, I wanted to have a discussion first before we make a vote on.
Yeah, well, we
Those
haven't
first.
even approved either.
Okay.
yeah, we're just explaining
Okay,
what
so
they
are
are
we
at
in the
this
discussion?
point.
So there was a
Okay,
motion,
now we
there's a
explain
second, now
the
discussion.
two options, now we can have a motion.
All right.
Good, so we have a motion for the two options to be discussed.
Yes, make a
Okay,
motion.
we have a second?
Second.
Okay, now discussion.
Jeremy, were you a part of these discussions in terms of,
I was a part of discussion A, B, C, and D, there was more than that. We wanted to kind of go with, not narrowing the road that much. So I don't know where that's coming up, that was one of the last options we really wanted to do.
so that would be the $35,000 option, is that
I'm
correct?
guessing so. We were
What you were
supposed,
saying?
we talked about bringing it down to 19 feet wide so two cars could still possibly pass each other. That way leaves it wider for farm implements to go down the road as well. And you ain't gotta worry about people on cell phones not seeing a sign and trying to pass somebody on a narrow area that is gonna appear wide enough for these small vehicles, but it's not gonna happen.
I'm not a farmer, but what is the typical variance that farm equipment needs to be able to?
It all depends. I haven't looked at because that is an agricultural area. I don't know what their variances are, and farmers do have rights to farm. And if we deny them,
Well, I understand that, I'm just trying to
I
understand the
don't
numbers,
know
and
how wide
19
their
feet is gonna be,
equipment's gonna
16 feet going to be appropriate?
If we're not making the road any narrower, it's still gonna be 16 feet, right?
right now it's 22 feet or 23 feet.
So you,
Problem is,
So you're gonna make it smaller. I thought when we
I
had this
don't want
meeting,
it.
we were gonna
it's
keep
just,
it the
it's
same.
super more expensive to make it wider, because you have to
but
build out the bridge, because there's nothing to put the guardrails in.
there are quite a few farms on that area. You live right down there, so I don't see, thank you, so I don't see how narrowing the road would be appropriate in this circumstance.
I don't think it would be.
So, process of elimination, would that
So
be
then-
option one then, as far as?
Both of them narrow it though. If it's 23 feet right now,
At
And then
least
this
if
is
you go
gonna
down to
put it
19
on
feet, Jackson, you still have the capability of two vehicles passing. If you don't necessarily want to pass it at 55, we would have to reduce the speed limits down through there, but you could still have two vehicles pass each other. Going down to the 16 foot, you're not going to get anybody past each other. My fear is kids today on cell phones, kids today, I hate to say it, smoke pot, whatever it be, not paying attention, you're going to have an accident. So I would like to at least keep it wide enough to have two cars be able to pass, one in which being a school bus.
Can you check with Chips then, and get an answer for us?
I can again, like I said, last she said, she told me to look into bridge grants.
Did you look into bridge grants?
I called in on the bridge grants and we just missed all that stuff. They won't be doing it again for 2 years.
Can we, I'm gonna make a motion that we table this until I just feel like there's some information that's left unanswered and I'm not comfortable and I would like to know more in terms of the funding. Perhaps we can call, is it Melissa? What was their contact? I can't recall her name.
Miranda.
Maria, thank you. Sorry for that. We can try again as far as the bridge, take a look at that as well. And then I would like to know in terms of for the variance, and I know that we're talking 19 feet, 2 cars, okay, but it's also front country out there as well, so I want to ensure that we're still in line.
I agree.
Okay.
You have a second on table on it?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
wait, so actually really quick, how like detrimental is that it gets done, like ASAP? Like right now the road's closed.
Well, it's closed, so it's gonna be closed until we do this. It's unsafe.
Well, I only see, so I see for the fact sheet, there's 3 options, but I only see 2 resolutions.
Well, you can see the one was not recommended for the reason of being unsafe or something. Peter put in there that he would not recommend that one.
There was one to actually widen the tunnel underneath, so you keep the road the same width, and still put the guardrails. There was one to narrow it down to 19 feet, there was one to narrow it to 16 feet, and I do believe we had a 4th one to narrow it down to like 12 feet.
I think the problem, they were both not 219 and 116, but the one, the way it was set up, it was very unsafe because there was no, there wasn't enough room with the guardrail for the deflection.
Yep, I see that.
So, yeah, so
I think it's beneficial to look into the CHIPS program, but if, like, I talked to Pete, he said both ones would be just as safe though, so I'd rather go with the cheaper option, personally. But,
well, first we got to
Cheaper's
order
not
for
always
the
better.
What's that?
If we're gonna do it, I'd rather do it appropriately.
So everyone can use it again.
Correct.
Well, I mean, there's a law that allows us to do it this way, I mean, because it's not a highly traveled road.
So we can't follow that law, we don't have the proper number of cars now.
And it would be marked properly, I mean, we can't be responsible for everybody's driving habits. So, well, first of all, we got first and second, a motion to table it. All in favor of tabling it, say aye.
Aye.
You voted to table it?
Yeah, well,
Okay, that's fine, I making sure,
so
so,
we table it, we're
All right, so-
postponing the inevitable.
yeah, so, we'll table it.
Jeremy, we'll get together, in fact, let's talk tomorrow, and we'll get on that, so we can get those details ahead of time.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Nays?
I'm the next.
Okay.
2 nays, yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a resolution to approve the disbursement of surplus equipment in the Department of Public Works. We cleaned out the 10 Fall Street, old telephones, printers, keyboards, monitors. They want to get rid of them on Auctions International. And the sewer department wants to sell a welder, trench box, pickup crane, a bridge generator, and obsolete meter parts.
Can I add 3 things to that?
Wait, hold on, we gotta make motions.
Yeah, we need motions.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Discussion. So Jeremy, you want to add to this?
I have 3 things I'd like to add to it. I got a couple chainsaws, and I believe it's
What was that, Jeremy?
That I would like to add it to the Auctions International thing, that I thought we were gonna talk about when that was gonna happen, so we could do everybody together at once this time. So they didn't keep.
We could add those three things, so
It's
I'm okay.
just-
So I'll have a motion that we amend this, adding for the highway department, 2 chainsaws and a
It's
say,
a
back
blower.
blower.
I just have, it just explained the difference in the trench box, because didn't we just get a trench box?
We did, this was an old one that,
This
there's
was
one that
only
they had.
two-sided. We had to buy a four-sided one.
Yeah, and it has to meet standards, and this one was old and does not meet that standard.
And we can't, other department can't use the welder, it's non-operable.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't need it, but he's wanting to get rid of it.
How about the generator?
I think the same thing, it's probably obsolete, and they probably got newer stuff.
Well, I just don't want to get in the practice that we buy new every year, and then the next year we just add it to surplus, and somebody gets a heck of a deal.
Lisa, do you have a
So
generator
we-
at the rec?
No, I'm assuming it doesn't work, but I don't know.
Do we know if it works?
No, we don't know that, doesn't say.
I'm assuming it's probably just a portable generator. It's not something that's gonna generate the pressure or something like that. If they find it's a small box generator.
Well, look, if you've got questions, we'll just delete those parts and we'll ask the department.
It would also be much more convenient, and I think this kind of lends to Brad. His point is, if Joe is here, we can ask these questions. It's been what, 8
He's
months?
not
All right, so we are where we're at, so we either have a motion to approve it, this, with the amendment, adding Jeremy's 3 items on it, or we table it. So all in favor of, well, we need a motion for the amendment.
I'll make the motion for the amendment.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor of selling the items with Jeremy's amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Did you vote?
I'd just like to see if we could do like a checklist that it meets,
So carried 3 to 2.
non-operable, whatever.
Got a motion here to approve the lease of the Kubota skid steer for Department of Public Works, so they can start doing their ditches and stuff. Have a motion,
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
discussion.
I have a question. We already have 6 skidsters. Why do we need to buy more?
Because Jeremy won't let the Public Works use it.
But
Because you don't have permission to work on your streets.
But there you
But
go.
the water department has some. Why
They
can't
have one,
they have 2.
we have 2? So why do we need a new one?
because the water department is a separate entity. Their stuff is supposed to be used by the water department.
But the
The
town
town,
purchases.
Jeremy should allow the town, the Public Works to use it, he's not letting them use it, they have to buy one. I'm not gonna have 4 people not working because they don't have equipment.
Is it, so, I'm gonna echo what Jennifer had said earlier, because it was brought to my attention by Charlie Barbay regarding a discussion. And I am just curious as far as the intentions behind why there's such, I guess, I see it as refusal, lack of communication, et cetera. Frank, did you indicate to him, to Charlie, that if Jeremy was to resign as highway superintendent and go back as a town employee, that you would then, let's see here, staff would make the highway department better under the DPW?
No, I never said that.
So his statement here is incorrect.
Absolutely incorrect.
Because I would like to see a collaboration, and really,
I would too.
I was
I
never
think
in
it's a
support of the
waste of taxpayer
DPW, and I feel that it
You
has
voted 5-0, it passed.
evolved into something because I was, I believe, misinformed. And this is costing the taxpayers a heck of a lot more money than what
And that's 'cause
was
your highway
originally
de-
agreed upon.
Your highway department won't work with them. It's
I won't work with you.
See, I don't agree with that because I've been trying, Jeremy, hold on one second, please. I've tried to be the mediator and Mr. Mesmer stop replying to my questions. And I don't understand, like, and I'll bring up the cold patching. Why do we have two departments purchasing cold patching unbeknownst to highway when DPW has already taken it upon themselves to go and to do that? There really should be collaboration, 100%. And we shouldn't have to be purchasing double. And I can't support the purchase of these whatsoever.
Well, you get your vote.
I
So I
do.
thought these were a lease, not a purchase. Like,
Yeah,
lease with a purchase option at the end.
Right.
But it's extra.
Not budgeted.
So we didn't need.
It's in their budget for equipment.
We budgeted what? 225?
I don't know.
What did we budget for?
This is, I don't know.
But this is
but
out of the general fund as well, but we had, and I had brought this up before because in reference to the pickup truck, correct? Where's this money coming from? But then this, you did the numbers, Jen, and it was what, $400 and some odd thousand? Okay, so that's a lot more than what we originally budgeted for, I thought.
No,
It's not what we're spending.
He's not,
Is that what we're
he
spending?
still has money in his budget to buy this equipment.
What does the comptroller say in terms of, is it appropriate to be using the general fund to fund the department, or should they have their own budget
It
line?
was put on the public works.
I thought they were using the general fund.
Public Works is a part of the general fund.
I don't think the issue here is public works. They want to do the work. We have to provide the equipment. If Jeremy will not let them use it, they're going to have to get
If
equipment.
you just off the employees where they're at, it wouldn't cost the taxpayers nothing, and we could still be doing the same work.
But the work wasn't getting done,
The work
Jeremy, and that's why
wasn't
we had to
The
do
work
it public.
wasn't getting
Well, here we're at this. So,
I
we have a
move the
motion and a
question.
second.
Let's vote.
All in favor of purchasing the lease, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
So carried. Approve a 3-year lease of a Kubota compact excavator for Department of Public Works.
In the amount
Same
of-
discussion,
Make a motion.
Second,
discussion.
again, I'm gonna echo the same concerns.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
So carried. Resolution to approve the purchase of a tilt trailer for Department of Public Works.
I'll make a motion. A second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Purchase of Sandstar CBT field groomer for the town of Seneca Falls Rec Department. I believe they're sharing this cost with the Little League.
I make a motion.
Second.
What are we doing with the old one?
We may surplus it, or we may just remove it as barge for now.
Any
Fairly
further,
functional, but we transfer it back and forth, so it costs quite a lot, so.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I have a resolution for the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation Grant for Kids Territory Park Improvement.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
So what does this like entail? Yeah.
A lot of drainage and fixing the field and stuff like that.
We're gonna try to decide
Okay.
lighting, so we can turn this.
Very good.
So they can have night games.
Girl skills, don't, lighting this stuff.
Yeah. Very good.
Any further discussion?
Missy,
Oh.
when will this start, like, when will they start the
I think
project?
they start soon, I think it's something, I won't interfere with this, this year's goal, because that would be open by June or July, but I'm sure it's because the budget and all that. Hopefully, it won't be dragged out like our DRI was, I think that's a little bit of a longer process. I think this is meant to be completed within years.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Resolution for advertisement and hiring of part-time seasonal staff for the rec center.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. So we received the bid for the Heritage Visitor Center, fully associated with the lowest bid at $422,000. It's part of the DRI grant. Can I have a motion to accept the
Make a
bid?
motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
What is that one? Again, I
That's
forgot.
the Heritage Museum.
Yeah, but like.
What are they
okay.
doing? What improvements?
Windows and inside, I guess. I don't know the whole scope of it. They did want a deck, but I think that got tossed out because we couldn't very good luck.
It's
windows, it's the front of the building, it's putting a community center in on the second floor, new offices, and upgrading the windows so that none of the leaks
Condensation.
ruin any of the
Yeah, we can
fixturing.
that. Thank you for the explanation.
You're welcome.
All in favor?
Aye.
So emergency purchase equipment for wastewater treatment plant. The Heck Company for $6,791. It's a
No,
No,
purchase.
I'm out of.
I make a motion, we buy it.
well, we got a 2025 International truck that was ordered way 4 or 5 years ago. It's set to be delivered. It's going to be purchased with A-fund money for $197,000 to be used for the town.
Which department?
Whatever the town decides to use it, but it won't be given to any department, so no one has control over it, so we won't have to do what we did with those other resolutions. It'll be shared.
And this is already budgeted for? You budgeted for?
Well, it's coming out of the A-fund budget for 2025.
Where is it going to be stored and whatnot?
I guess it'll probably be at Public Works. Because they need a dump truck to operate their daily trenching and ditching. They don't have one at this point
So this is for Public Works, essentially.
to use, and then when the highway department uses it, they'll be able to use it. The Public Works will share.
Well, so will highway.
No, they won't.
It's all about communication.
It's not about communication.
It is.
So I asked Jeremy for the excavator keys for the Cuban Nations bought us the excavator for the town to use. He does not want to use the excavator, does not want the excavator, but will not give the town the keys so the Department of Public Works can use it. So we have an excavator sitting over there at the highway department that nobody can use because he won't use it and refuses to give it to
Why
us.
don't you, as a committee, why wasn't I reached out to?
Use that piece of equipment, Frank.
Jeremy?
Not one of them is even smart enough to.
But, okay, but, excuse me for a second, but Frank, Don and I said, Jeremy, please, for one, let me. Frank, at what point could you have reached out to Don or myself to help facilitate, I mean, again, it comes down to negotiation. I'm not trying to be the mediator here, but it's also about the collaboration. I didn't know about that.
Well,
I'm sure we could.
you know he's
I'm
not letting
sure-
us use any
I'm
equipment. I don't think
sure-
that's a secret.
I'm sure we could have.
Because he puts it on Facebook and everything else. That he-
Can I just ask a question, not to
Yeah.
interrupt you?
You're fine.
Why can't we get 2 sets of keys?
Because he won't give us the
Jeremy,
keys.
can we have the keys so we can get 2 sets of keys so we can share this and kind of try and work together,
I
please?
would be
And
glad to
make-
give up a key once you find someone proper to train somebody with it. Because they don't have anybody over there that knows how to use it to train somebody with it, is the problem. None of the people that they have has experience in that kind of piece of equipment to even train the next person. So why am
Does
I gonna
Peter
give the
have
keys?
experience
Why
with
would I
this?
give the keys to somebody who's possibly just gonna cause or create more damages or hurt somebody inside of something they have no idea how to use?
Jeremy, who do you
That's
have
not
within
your
your
decision.
department?
So we'll just call the state police, tell them it's been robbed, and we'll get the keys that way. It's been stolen. We can't get the keys, it's stolen.
All right, so
Just call the state police.
let's go back to
That's
this.
my solution.
We'll ask for a favor, right?
That's my solution.
Let's ask for a favor.
So
Okay.
2025 International Dump Truck. So I have a motion and a second. Did you get a motion and a second?
No.
I need a motion to purchase this.
Make a motion.
Need a second?
I second it.
Discussion anymore? All in favor of purchasing it? Aye.
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 Opposed?
Opposed.
You need this back?
Yeah.
Okay, emergency purchase equipment for wastewater treatment plant. The analyzer failed online. We need to replace that, it's an emergency.
I'll make a motion.
Have a second? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Got a resolution to accept retirement authorization advertisement for filling the position. Fred Peterman has retired after nearly 30 years of service in the town. A motion?
Make a motion.
Second. Discussion?
Yeah, I have discussion. Are we gonna refill this position? I don't wanna refill any positions till we get a contract with the CSEA. That's just my personal opinion.
I have to agree with you on that, Frank, because I feel like that also aligns with the next resolution. I'm not comfortable making any changes, and I did ask this question in an email and I didn't hear back. But I'm not comfortable moving forward on either until
I'm
things are
talking
resolved.
I'm not just picking on Joe. Any position that
No, I
comes
agree with you,
vacant
and
before
that
we
has
get
been discussed in the
contract with
past.
CSEA.
I agree.
And I don't know what the starting salaries are gonna be, they could be all adjusted. I just don't wanna hire anybody. The town isn't gonna miss a beat if one person is not on the job. Unless the department is one person.
All right, so,
I'll second that.
well, that's
So
not
hold
a
on.
second.
So hold on. Are you accepting his retirement? But
We already did
I'll make a motion that we accept Fred Peterman's retirement, with,
Well, we're just going to vote whether or not we hire someone. I mean, we don't have to make an amendment. The resolution is to fill the vacant spot.
for
It's accepting
advertising
his
for
offer.
replacement, though, I would make
Yeah, yeah.
an amendment to that we postpone that until,
Okay, so you want to amend that we don't hire the position?
for the time being,
And Frank, you're
until.
going to second that, I think?
Yeah.
Okay. So all in favor of tabling the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Are we tabling
Table
it?
Yeah.
it or just not
Yeah, we-
voting?
we can
Or
table it.
waiting?
Tabling it until the negotiations are satisfied with the CSEA?
We're gonna table it till,
Yeah, that's
okay.
what-
we should be done by July.
Really quick, I think two different things, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Aren't these like two different things? Don't we have to like vote on accepting his retirement and authorizing that?
Well, that would be part of the amendment, right?
Okay.
So
Yes, the
we're
amendment.
making a motion
Okay.
to, with the amendment, okay, so we're making the motion to accept Fred Peterman's retirement. I also would like to thank him for his years of service to the town. But with the amendment of the town not advertising or replacing Fred until, or that position, until the CSEA negotiations are satisfied. At that time, we'll then bring it back for a vote.
Yeah, you can make a motion to fill any position in the town. We want to be filling any position that comes under the recognition clause of the CSEA contract till we get a contract with
Great.
it.
All right, so that's the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That way, we're not picking on any one
Opposed?
department.
Opposed.
Opposed, so carried 3-2. Resolution to appoint deputy distribution operator.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
So for the discussion part, I do feel that this also aligns with the prior resolution, and I would like to table this further until the resolution with the CSEA.
Is there a way we can like,
Well,
This is different, in my
How's this?
opinion.
But we
because
would be filling
we
Fred's
always-
position.
Every department has deputies.
yeah, this has nothing to do with the CSEA contract. This
So-
won't be in there.
But the $1.50 an hour, so, and this was another question I'd asked that I didn't receive a response on. When Tim Pagano was transferred over, he is one of the highest paid water maintainers, which doesn't really align on the matrix with the others, because we hired him, and we kept him at the same rate. So now we're giving him $1.50 more. Where does his salary align with all of that? I just,
Yeah, well, he's gonna be the deputy. Like,
I know he's the most senior, I understand that.
There's a CSEA contract with the county, okay? And when I was the personnel director, I had a deputy. the county's policy was to pay anybody that was deputy under department head $500 extra. So
I get that.
whoever was my deputy at the time
They
got
get
an
a
extra
stipend.
$500. Here, obviously, the policy is $1.50, and that wasn't even in the CSEA contract. That was just something set by the Board of Supervisors. The CSEA is not gonna get involved with how much we pay people as deputies to, like Melissa. Well, I can't pick on her because none of her positions are in the bargaining unit, but anybody else that has a deputy in the town, that's not even gonna be covered by the bargaining unit. That won't even be.
So he won't be in the union?
No, yeah, Mr.
But he'll still benefit
Who's
from
ever gonna,
pay.
yeah, Tim Pagano is gonna be in the bargaining unit.
Okay, so.
Okay, but the deputy, appointing somebody as the deputy is not gonna be a bargaining point with the CSEA. They don't care who we make deputies or how much we pay a deputy. They may wanna set a uniform price, which I doubt, because the county set it by resolution, what we pay all the deputies. In the county, it's all 500. Unless you were specifically, there was a deputy county treasurer, that was Colleen Stein years ago, and her position was actually in the budget, in the CSEA contract, deputy county treasurer. That was actually in there. So that deputy position was actually covered by CSEA because it was a specific full-time position. Most of these deputy jobs are only in the absence of the department head, the deputy acts on their behalf. Might sign a paper, make a decision, give some orders for people to do work, carry out the work when the department head's not there. This has nothing to do with the
So,
contract. I don't believe
what's-
anyway.
I mean, James is a deputy, correct? He's salaried.
Was that?
James is salaried. I'm talking about the other deputy that we have for the,
Yeah, I don't know any other deputies we have.
James Riccio, isn't he a deputy?
No, he's the chief water plant operator. He just has one title.
All right, so let's vote on this. All in favor of appointing, filling the deputy position by Tim Pagano, $1.50 an hour, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Carried 2-2. This next resolution, purchase pro press tool, that is no longer, we're gonna remove that resolution.
What was that for?
Press tool for the highway, the water department.
We're removing it?
Yes. They found one much cheaper and they don't need a resolution because it's under the limit. Purchase monitoring equipment for wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah, I make a motion. We gotta have this equipment, right?
It's a backup, so good backup.
I'll second it.
Discussion. All in favor?
Does this, just a question, did this fall under the emergency? Was that the same?
Yeah, we bought one for the emergency, and now we're buying a second one, and just to have it on the shelf in case it breaks again.
Okay.
That's what this one
No, I
is.
understand.
We're not using two of them.
I just saw the same company, so I didn't.
And one's a back.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. The next resolution, to trade the skid steer for lease steer, that's gonna be amended. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna fix the one we got for the $3,000 to fix it at this time. Pull that one from the resolution. We have a resolution here for the town clerk to attend training, Saratoga. For a total,
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion here. All right. Here is my thing on this. The next resolution that's gonna come up, I'm definitely gonna vote in favor of because I think it's something the deputy town clerk and the tax collector do for training. But as far as the training for the town clerk to learn about personnel or the budget, I think it's good to learn. And what I did on my own was went to the state controller and I found the course. I think it's for free. It doesn't have a... And it's a lesson in budgeting and financial coordination analysis, conditional analysis. And there's 30 pages of trainings the state comptroller offers by using the computer. Go online, that does the training. So like I say, there's 30 pages. And, you know, I think Melissa, you know, if she looks at this, I think she'll get, because it says, this session will identify the commonly misunderstood by local government managers, governing boards, help explain how properly to implement the concepts and ways to prevent pitfalls in budgeting process. So like I say, this is done by accountants for the state comptroller, and there's 30 pages of trainings they're giving this year.
Online?
Yeah, online.
So, my opposition to that is that, as a professional myself, I feel that in-person trainings are far more effective than webinars. So, I can't agree with that. I understand that they're free, but I'm also in support of departments going to in-person trainings. I do find that more effective.
And I'm not against people getting training. I'm just saying, the money that was put in Melissa's budget, for training, I thought it was gonna be for Melissa to go to the town clerks, you know, seminar that they have annually, and maybe, you know, another training, like for any of these departments. The assessment department here, there's a statewide training for assessors every year. Personnel people, there's a statewide training. I used to go to it every June at the county, you know, for 4 days. And that's what I thought this money was gonna be used for. Melissa to take, you know, her and a couple of her staff to this training, you know, for the town clerks. You know, that probably is given every year, and that's what I thought the money would be used for.
Well,
not for personnel matters or accounting, when that stuff is all online for free.
but accounting.
That's all
so
I'm
I
saying. I'm
asked
not opposed to education. I'm just saying there's other ways to do it without spending $1,000. That's all.
She budgeted 3,000. I did ask this question because I didn't understand what her intention was either. But she budgeted $3,000. I do find her to be frugal, and she feels that this educational expense would be appropriate given that, Melissa, correct me if I'm wrong, there is a lot of fiscal dynamics within your department, and
There's a lot of things that Tracy tells me all the time that I'm not aware of and that I feel like I should be. And if that's an opportunity for me to learn it directly from them instead of being a year into it and being told again and again, like, we have to do it this way, we have to do it that way, then I would rather go there, sit for 3 days, and actually have nobody come in to my office and say, oh, are you busy? 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 1,000 times a day, and interrupt what I'm trying to do.
to that aside, I also believe that it provides an opportunity for professional networking. So in the event that there are ever any other questions, that the networking is established.
And that's why I thought the money was gonna be used for the town clerk conference or the
It
association.
initially was going to be used for
you know,
that.
that's where she should be networking with people of her similar title. But that's just my opinion, okay?
We're not able to attend that this year.
It's,
Why can't you attend?
There are 2 people out of the office during that week, and I was going to actually, because it was in Syracuse, send people on certain days, because I would think they're more geared towards what they're doing, or able to get more out of it on those certain days. But there's 2 people that are out for different reasons, so it leaves me full-time and then one other person in the office a couple days a week where it's gonna actually be covered.
So any of that virtual?
All right, let's vote on this. So resolution for town clerk to attend the training. We have a motion in a second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
No.
Okay, 4 to 1, carried. Motion for the town clerk and the tax receiver and deputy town clerk to attend training in Lake George.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
So we got a resolution for change in fees for short-term rentals. We talked about it last month, we didn't table it, so we're doing it as a new business. So the state has all these new rules, but it's very gray on what you can charge. So we charge 50 for the 500 annually and 150.
No, $50.
$50 for the application.
50, 500.
Initial application, and then you never do the application fee.
Okay, so we pay 500. So I called around to different towns. Barrick, they charge 500 the first year, 250 after that. Cuba Heights and Ithaca, they charge 150 and 150. I want to say Fayette, I think was 200 and 400. And everybody talks, and no one knows what the state's going to do. I think we should leave it until we get more answers from the state of what it could be, but that's.
Me too. I make a motion that
Leave it
we
as
adopt
is.
and keep the $500 annually.
Second.
Any discussion more?
I disagree. We're not in the business to be profiting, and that was the emphasis of, and I did send that materials for reference. Mr. Mayor, has there been discussion at the county level in terms of what they intend on doing
They're
with
trying to
this?
raise the bed tax to 6%.
So they can get the occupancy tax?
Yeah, up to 6%, and they're going to start doing it out, yeah. So.
The county gets all the occupancy tax right now, around $675,000 a year.
So are they gonna opt into this new, or are they gonna be opting out? Because I know that we can still establish our own local laws as it pertains to short-term rentals.
Right.
I just feel that it is excessive, and we should be more
Well,
aligned
the
with our
problem is,
contiguous.
when, say, the police get called in for parking in this district, should that be part of the fee? I mean, it's so gray with the state, they don't tell you what you can charge for. What's reasonable? Well, what's reasonable? I don't know. And so I say we leave it at this, and then we'll see what, if the state comes up with mandates, then we'll follow the rules.
When will that be, in September?
With the state, it could be next
I
week,
thought
it could
they
be
had
10
to
years.
apply
from now.
by September.
So,
But I thought that they had to apply by September.
well, we could, I mean, it doesn't tell you what you can charge. It says it's your choice, as long as it's reasonable. pretty
So,
much.
we're
I mean, I don't know.
really not gonna circle back on it.
Right, we've been charging $500 for a year. I asked a question today to a couple people, Frank and Peter Socha. How many people have come in and complained about the $500? And the answer was nobody.
Did you ask the zoning officer?
Huh?
Did you ask the zoning officer?
No, I didn't ask.
I would highly recommend you talk with zoning, because this is where this
They
came
can
from.
afford it. Look, there's 35 short-term rentals on the Lower Lake Road. They get anywhere from $250 a night to $500 a night. They can afford the $500.
That's not what's
That's
being
what it's
disputed.
about. Can you
would-
afford it
you
or
know,
not?
Why, I mean, you can't set,
Because there's a housing shortage in Seneca County. They're having the meeting right now. These short-term rentals are making it impossible for people to have places to live, okay? You know, they're good on one side, not so
I
good
don't
on the
think
other. I'm
profit
just
should be
saying
of our concerns. I
$500
mean,
is not
I
gonna
own
make
a
or break
rental
those people
unit,
that own the
and
short-term
my
rentals.
profit shouldn't be of
I mean,
anybody's
I understand
concern.
that, but that's what we passed years ago. I mean, where'd the 500 come from? That's what it's
About
been.
last
So now
year.
why would we change it? Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense. So, well, let's just vote. So all in favor of keeping it the same, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed?
Carry 4-1. I have a motion to accept the water leaks and pool credits.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Second.
discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
So carried. At this point, we're gonna go into executive session for discussion and limit to, medical, financial credit, or employment history of a particular person at this point, and for, negotiations under the tail law. Meeting's over, but there might be a resolution come out after the meeting. I don't know for sure after we
I gotta
discuss
run
it.
out to my car, I left the stuff in my car.
But this time, Is there?
What's the fastest way to the car?
I make a motion to go into
Do I have a second to motion to go into
Second.
All in favor of going into executive session?
All right.
No, that's okay.